Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? Ah, it feels good to have some of these shows going in this week. One show we're gonna start with the Sword Art, but also Fairy Tail. I will be dropping that right after this, so if you guys wouldn't mind giving Fairy Tail some support in the review, it would be greatly appreciated. But overall, man, Sword Art this week, and this is exactly what I was pretty much talking about last week, is with them putting themselves in a position where they can pretty much uh, just sign off in the sense of like they gave us all the info we needed, like for what the bad person's trying to go for. They gave us all the information of like different reasons why they're trying to do it and stuff like that. So because of something like that, it leaves the show to pretty much be open when it comes down to doing their next phases. And by next phase, I mean this is pretty much just their action phase, probably for the rest of the show. Like, sure, we had these little breaks where they're talking about their skills and stuff, but I think that's about the end of it. Like they're not going to be putting that much conversation into all of that because of how much they're about to be getting into later in the show. So not only was that like part of it, we also got to see just how crazy um, that these knights actually are. Not to mention like they have so much potential that they are in a position to pretty much make Kimito and Blonde Kimito have to think about their whole entire strategy, uh, or else they're pretty much going to end up getting pretty messed up in next week's episode, seeing how they won't be able to necessarily do it instantly because they're already underestimating these girls for being kids. So the classic thing that hero characters usually do, or at least the characters that are quote unquote good, um, they always have these morals and stuff that sometimes you can't really get by. Just I'll just kill these little kids because they're in my way. Like some people really will not do something like that, and this is Kimito is a good example of that when he learns of this is the guy that pretty much took the girl away. He's still like he's defeated. He's not gonna fight you back. So why are you raising your sword to him? That's not what I taught you. So um, it's just one of those things where once you see it, you kind of understand that they're trying to hold themselves at some type of moral compass to better the situation, so to speak. And because of that, I think that's going to be what is actually slowing them down, even in the slightest. So, really interested to see how that plays out. Other than that, though, my God, was this episode beautiful when it came down to the like art, like the animation of the fire, of like the perfect control weapon controls or whatever they were called. Man, it looks so dang good, and I wasn't expecting it to look as well as it did, but seeing it in that light really makes you want to like just see what their best effort or their most paid for animated scene is, in my opinion. Like I really want to see that now because of that. But if this is how all the fights are gonna like look relatively similar, I am all for it, man. And I don't think there's a lot of people who are against it. Like the animation is beautiful, and I mean the only thing people are like hating on is the story, or not even the story now. It's more of the main character. Like he gets all the girls. He always gets like the last word and blah blah blah. There's always something wrong with something for people, and they complain about it. But that's what sometimes makes shows better and sometimes shows worse is when they take those like those critiques and either switch things or they try to fix it, and you might end up with something that you didn't want in the first place, but at least your fans are happy, But I honestly don't care too much about that little bit of stuff. Like, I feel like if there's stuff to be petty about with the show, I'll probably just like not watch it altogether. So I can't really understand the argument of not liking a character to such a degree and then still being able to watch that character later on. Like, how can you watch a character that you hate and yet you have the choice to watch a lot more better shows? That's just beyond me. So can't understand it, but I've heard it, so I thought I'd mention it. That is a thing. But overall, man, there is so much coming out of like this with Kimito pretty much doing the best thing he could have possibly done by teaching this other guy his exact like fighting style. Because all this Aincrad stuff that they're saying that they're using, that means probably Kimito taught him everything that he knew from Sword Art Online. And not to mention, if he did do that, that means he just can like pretty much activate it whenever he feels like it. Like the spin defending move that he does in this week's episode. I'm pretty sure they both have that in their arsenal, is what I'm trying to say. And I think that was like just a huge genius move on Kimito's part, because they could have, either one of them could have probably played the role of defense. I just think Kimito is much more acute to it in actual combat than his friend is. So by doing the more dangerous like defensive part of it, he definitely kept him out of the danger zone, so to speak. So that's just Kimito's character. Always thinking about others because he's amazing like that. But um, it was so fun to just see where this show could possibly go. Because when I was watching it, I honestly thought that this fire guy was going to be like way more of a long run down, like he was going to be fighting for much longer. He kind of got bodied quite quickly, and I'm not sure if that's how it happens in the manga, but when I was seemingly talking about it, it sounded like people believed that Kimito and his brother didn't even have a shot at beating the Red Knight. So, um, and I guess you can't, I just feel like you can't say that they've grown tremendously that much since the time of seeing him, unless the girl, gave them some abilities that I'm forgetting about. But the girl in the library, which I don't think she gave them any commands besides the perfect art stuff, and that's stuff that they didn't even use in this week's episode. So really interested to understand if they couldn't defeat him just because they didn't have the mindset to defeat him at that point, or what. But whatever. The next thing that I really want to see with this is just how powerful Kimito's freaking skill is that he's bragging about, that he's making us wait until to see it. And I'm really interested if he's actually going to use it on these two girls that show up at this end of this week's episode, or if it's just going to be a thing where he winds up using it on someone later down the line or something like that. So let me know what you guys think. Sword Art has been doing relatively well with just like overall looks and how it's the story is, in my opinion. But if you have any downsides or things that you don't like about it, I wouldn't mind listening or like reading your comments and stuff like that about it. I'm about to drop my episode on Fairy Tail, like I said earlier, so some support on that would be great and lovely if you don't mind. But yeah, I hope you guys definitely get to see some more of these crazy action battles, because to be fair, if you hate the character and you hate, like whatever you hate about it, you gotta admit, at least the show looks like beautiful to watch at moments. So enjoy it while you can, or enjoy whatever you can, while, even though you're like hating on it. Good luck, like people hated Tokyo Ghoul Re, but for some reason all the haters came out and supported their way of hate. So I mean, if there is haters out there for this show, I would not mind uh, hearing it out because I understand like if the manga is being like skipped over and stuff like that, but if it's just like some personal vendetta against Kimito, the character himself, it's kind of that's just I don't know. It's like a selfish hate or something. I don't even know what to call that. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good one, good night, day, evening, whatever the case, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. And if you are new here, thank you for the subscribe, and if you aren't, make sure you hit that bell and make sure it's on so you get notified instantly when I drop my next content. So with that, everybody, I'll talk to you in the next one. All right, peace.